Hi guys, welcome back to another Matchbox Garage video. I'm Rob and today I shall be attempting to take this Siku Jeep CJ-5 from shabby to shiny. Of course the number one problem that we need to resolve today is that window section there. Of course it's been stamped on perhaps, or even just probably lightly trodden on. Of course I myself, with young children, with cars all over the place, I'm regularly stepping on them, and if this was upside down or even the right way, I can imagine a parent easily bending that. And I actually done some Google images just to see where it should be sitting, and sure enough, even then a lot of them were damaged. So a little bit of heat today, trying to get that back up to where it should be, and a little bit of a custom change on this one, and I hope you like it. And of course with 2,000 likes it could be yours. But yeah, considering it's been stood on, trodden on, it still rolls very well, and it's not your usual sizing. It seems a little bit bigger, but it's nice. Some great detail in it though. Underneath, of course, it reads Siku Jeep CJ-5, made in West Germany. And this is number 1053, and it's got some great little details. Look at this, 4-cylinder, 2474 cc, so it's a 2.5 litre, 88 PS or 65 kilowatts of power, and a maximum speed of 125 kilometers per hour. I just think that's wonderful, just having those extra bit of details. I've not seen that in any other casting, bearing in mind I've done probably 250 cars now. Really good. But this one comes apart relatively easy. The as you can see, the interior and the rollover of this strange kind of orangey red, but we'll be painting that up shortly. And the suspension here is really good. I think the West Germans certainly knew what they were doing. I think this is I want to say it's the second, possibly the third Siku that I've done, but certainly I want to do more. I think they're really great quality castings. But yeah, making sure to not damage the suspension there. The Siku wheels are not too bad, but they're a little bit too far gone today, so I will be replacing them out for some aftermarket wheels, and these will go into the box of spares to my side. But yeah, look at some of this detail here in that front bumper there. You got the front number plate. I'll try and detail that out later. But yeah, the number one thing to do is just to make sure we can obviously fix this windscreen here. And die cast, I always find if it bends one way, you bend it the next and it will snap on you. But what I'm going to try and do is use a bit of heat today, and I've got my little hammer. To be honest, with heat and flames and me trying to see what I'm doing through the camera, as you can imagine, that's just not going to go down well. So I'm going to turn the camera off, concentrate, and get on with it. But I didn't actually end up using the hammer, and this is where we're at. Referring to some Google images, this is there or thereabouts where it should be, but showing you kind of how I did it. Whilst it was on the table, I simply showed it a bit of heat to these areas for perhaps 5 or so seconds, lifted it up, put it into the vise, and then just very gently applied some pressure to the left hand side here, just to try and bring it back up, not only into the upright position but also straight, because not only was it pushed back, but it was also pushed back at an angle. So, and whilst the lighter is out, I'm just going to apply a little bit of heat to this front bumper. As you can see, that's also been pushed back a little bit. It should have a little bit of a curve, but it seems that this one's got a bit too much of a curve. So again, just applying that little bit of heat, and then putting in the vice, the trick, and I think it's just all about luck really, it's just kind of feeling how far you can really push it. And it's just a little bit of a bend in there, which matches the other side, and I'm happy with that. I felt like if I was going to go just a millimetre more, that thing would have snapped. So, sometimes you just have to know when to stop. But yeah, the casting here in the boiling water and a tablespoon of caustic soda. But whilst that is to one side, we'll concentrate on cleaning up the plastics and the metal base. And they all come out pretty good, but this base will certainly need some extra attention. And using my Dremel, we'll give it a little bit of a buff up with the steel wire attachment here. So as you can see, it takes a little bit of time and effort, but a little bit of shine can be brought back to this. And this is probably 10 or 15 minutes later, and I've gone over the whole thing and almost looks as good as new. And you can really see those details now. Just seeing that made in West Germany, that really obviously puts a date to it. But I was in Berlin a couple of years ago, kind of standing on the old Berlin Wall line between West Germany and East Germany, and some massive amount of history over there. But wonderful place to visit, Berlin. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and would certainly recommend. But thumbs down with the paint removal today. I would say, now of course 100% is my preference, but anything over 95 is acceptable. Today's paint removal was probably around 22%. Absolute terrible. Although I did go with the wire brush here and probably managed to get off quite the majority, and bring it up to around about an 83% paint removal. But in it goes, and I had to run it through for a second time, and probably about half an hour later now, I have managed to get all that paint off, buff it out, and into the paint booth for the black primer. I considered what colour I wanted to paint this, and it looked great in the black, so I thought with my last casting being quite a bright one, it was a bright yellow citron, I wanted to go with a dark colour for this one, and I felt that if I was to have it, I'd either have green or black or grey, so I thought, okay, let's go with like a greeny grey colour. But with the interior, I'm going with the matte black. This will mimic like a leather look interior. With these Jeeps, I think something to wipe down once you've gone off road is really what's needed. Unfortunately, my camera battery died when I was painting the actual casting, so we don't have any of the colour going on, but I did use a mixture of the Vallejo premium range. I started off with a base of blue, added a little bit of yellow and a little bit of black to get the colour that we do eventually have, that you'll see in a few moments. But onto the matte silver for the rollover cage here. Considered going with black, but I thought just to break it up a little bit. You know, this whole casting, along with all the paints, are like a satin finish. They're not glossy. Then they're just right, I think, again, for this style of car. But yeah, it's later in the day, and the interior there and the rollover bars are now dry, and got the base with a set of green light Jeep wheels, and I started to detail it out. Look, that front number plate, painted it in black and then rubbed it back down to for that silver to shine through in the raised areas, and then in the casting here adding a few little details. But I shall put it together and remind you of what she looked like. But yeah, this is the result. So around the front, I think it's wonderful, greatly detailed. Put some Citadel Nuln Oil in that grille, some chrome in those headlights. That front number plate, as I mentioned, plus you got the red in that front toe. But yeah, coming around the side, I think these Jeep wheels really suit it. And I've used a silver paint pen just to try and highlight the Jeep sign on the side there. Same again coming around the back, the Jeep sign on the rear hatch. Of course, painting in those rear lights, and doing the same with the rear number plate there. So painting it in black, waiting for it to dry, and then using a very fine bit of sandpaper on a stick just to take away the black from the raised edges, and you know, with the bare metal coming through, I think it looks really good. But yeah, please do like the video, comment down below, and of course, if it does reach 2,000 likes, it could be yours. But let me take this opportunity now to thank my amazing patrons. Thanks a lot, guys, and I'll see you on the next one. Thanks, everybody. Keep safe. I'll see you soon.